Nemo Radio is on the air.
A, B, C. A, always B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
It's John Nemo. Welcome back to another episode of Nemo Radio. And I want to guarantee you this will be the best episode ever, or I will issue, I don't know what. No, it's funny. I wanted to start with that because the whole topic of this podcast episode is guarantees. Do you use them? Do you advocate for them? Do you look for them when you're partnering with a vendor, especially a service provider and agency? And the reason I'm bringing this up is it comes up time and again for me with my agency, with Nemo Media Group, where we obviously provide done-for-you LinkedIn lead generation, and along with that comes done-for-you content marketing and all these other different things that we provide as part of the overall service. And so now and again, I'll have someone say to me, well, you know, other agencies offer a guarantee. And in my case, it was, I want to know that you guarantee, X many booked appointments, per month or whatever it might be. And I see this all the time with other lead generation agencies or whatever it might be, where they say, we guarantee you, X many calls per month or X many booked appointments per month, or we'll work for free, or you get a refund. And it started getting me thinking like, well, am I missing something here? Should I be doing that? And then I really started diving into it, and I started asking people in one of the coaching groups I'm in and looking at my own situation. And I think where I want to start with, before I kind of give an answer of whether or not I think guarantees are good, and I'm always curious to hear your thoughts. So if you have strong thoughts on this, you can always email me, John, John, at nemomediagroup.com. I love hearing from you. Let me know your thoughts, your 2 cents on it. And I'll probably post this on LinkedIn too, just to get people's read. But, I think when someone asks for a guarantee, typically to me, at least in my business, that indicates at its core kind of a lack of trust, right? That's really the core issue is I don't know, like, or trust you enough to deliver on what you're promising, or I don't know, like, or trust myself enough to convert the leads that you're going to bring. Like, really, that's the crux of the issue or the core of the issue when someone comes to me and says, what guarantees do you have? Because when I look at guarantees, and here's where I'll get a little philosophical, with marketing especially, there's no guarantee in marketing. The reality is, as somebody in my coaching group pointed out, I could sign you to a 6-month deal and say, I guarantee you, X many calls per month from LinkedIn lead generation. Well, what if LinkedIn, the platform, was shut down tomorrow? Then what? Right? Like, what do we do? I can't guarantee you LinkedIn leads because LinkedIn ceases to exist, right? So obviously we could pivot or find something else. But the whole point is, I could also, and this is an analogy I use a lot of times too, if someone asks about it, is I could put up a billboard for you, and here's what I could guarantee. I could say, I've counted the number of cars that drive down that street. I've tracked it for a year straight. On weekdays, this many cars will drive by the billboard. On weekends, this many cars will drive. The cars are busiest, the most, active between these hours. I will guarantee you that you're going to approve the design of the billboard. You're going to approve the copy. You're going to approve the artwork. I promise you that we're going to have the billboard up, and we'll count how many cars go by each day. But when all is said and done, I can't guarantee that will generate X many phone calls per month to the phone number on the billboard, or X many website visits, or most importantly, I can't guarantee, X many people who see the billboard will eventually become a client of yours. And that's the same with LinkedIn, where it's like, what I can really guarantee you is the quality of my content and my deliverables. So what I'm creating for you, your LinkedIn profile, maybe an ebook, status updates, messages, company page, lists, quality prospect lists. I can guarantee you the output as far as like how many people we're reaching out to every single day on LinkedIn. And I can say, based on my track record, my experience with people just like you in this industry, what we typically see if everything goes well is, this many people, X many people per week that are qualified, that want to talk to you, that want to learn about your service, right? And that's the best kind of scenario that I can present. And what I got into, when I was thinking about, okay, do I want to, this recent example where someone wanted a guarantee of X many calls, I started thinking about all the variables involved. So think about this, right? So from the client point of view, I don't do the sales calls. I don't control them. All I can do is book them on your calendar. So if you incentivize me, for example, and this backs into a strategy point, one of my key differentiators and one of my key strategy, approaches for LinkedIn lead generation is quality versus quantity. Meaning, I've got a real specific approach I take with our Done For You LinkedIn lead gen, where I'm not just trying to get you a ton of calls on a full calendar. I only want hyper qualified leads. And the process I use for that is step one, I'm going to personally rewrite and customize your LinkedIn profile based off an interview with you and a bunch of industry research I do. And the prospect is going to look at your LinkedIn profile first. Step two is I'm going to create a custom piece of content for you. Right now, one of the most popular pieces that works really well on LinkedIn is a custom ebook, meaning 2,000 to 3,000, sometimes 4,000 words. It's a book. It's a PDF, designed by our team. It's got photos of you and logos and colors and branding. And it really, most importantly, I custom write it as you. So I really tell your story. I put the real life you through the content. The reader gets to really understand who you are, what your story is, what your journey has been. They get to see you demonstrate expertise. They get to hear from your clients and read testimonials. They get to see you demonstrating what you do and helping solve problems. And then also, I'm going to target people specifically on LinkedIn that fit your ideal prospect, type, right, avatar. And I'm going to send custom one-on-one messaging. And I'm going to have some custom status updates or LinkedIn articles, all of which a prospect needs to go through before we're going to book them onto your calendar. Meaning, your ideal prospect, not only do they check all the boxes in terms of finding them on LinkedIn and job title and industry and all those things and role that they have, but they've looked at your profile. They've read messages from you, one-on-one back and forth. They've read a 3,000-word ebook that's all about you. They have read articles or status updates about you. And they're interested in the topic and they want to talk to you personally more about it. So for me, that's what I consider a qualified or quality lead. Now, if you say to me, I just want to make sure I have X many calls a month, or you don't get paid, or you work for free, you're incentivizing me to ignore that process because that takes longer and just slam and shoehorn people onto your calendar. Basically, anyone with a pulse, I'm going to book a call and say, well, hey, listen, I got X calls booked. The quality is what it is, but you said that's most important. So in that sense, you're almost de-incentivizing me to do what I do best, which is qualify people first so I don't waste your time. And that's kind of a key pain point that people come to me with, is they say, I don't want to waste time with tire kickers. I'm so sick and tired of buying lists of leads or having other agencies do it and the person's not qualified. They don't know who I am. They don't know anything. I have to warm them up from scratch. It's a really tough call, or they're not really interested. They're not serious. Blah, 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 right? They're not qualified. So that's one big piece of it, is if you really break it down to being a math equation, it's not going to work as well because you're not getting the quality that you want. And then the other piece that really comes into play that's interesting is, of course, the variable about the client, right? So from my point of view as a service provider, how good of a client are you? Are you going to micromanage everything and not trust me and throw monkey wrenches into my process and slow me down so I can't get content published and approved by you? Do you not respond timely to me when I need things? Are you slowing down my process? Therefore, I can't get as many messages out. Therefore, I can't get as many people interested. Therefore, I can't get as many leads and calls booked. Are you someone who doesn't understand tech enough to get an online calendar working well? Do you not have a lot of openings in your calendar? Are you not responsive, where if we ask you to, confirm someone booked, you do it right away? Are you not hungry enough where if we say, hey, listen, I think this person really wants to book a call. I think if you just send them a quick text message or send a quick personal note through LinkedIn, like a selfie video or an audio, that'll push them over and get them to book the call. If you're not willing to do that, it's going to be harder to book a call in some instances. So again, the client has a huge role in this, of how responsive and trusting they are. So it really comes down to all these different variables. And then the last piece of it is, and I thought a lot about this, Will, it's such a good marketing tactic for an agency to say, listen, there's no risk involved. I'm guaranteeing you X calls a month, or it's free, or I'm giving you your money back. I can see how for a prospect that's super appealing and removes the barrier in their mind of, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work? But again, what I just illustrated, what if all the calls they book are bad leads and bad quality, or people that aren't really good buyers for you? You're going to still end up not getting the end result you wanted, which is paying clients, and you're going to have wasted all these extra hours of your time with non-qualified leads. So there's that piece of it. And then there's just the whole idea of how many strings need to be attached. So if we do this big complicated contract of, okay, I'm going to book X many calls, where does that go? Like if you get, say the number is 20 calls a month and we get 19, what does that mean? And, or what if the monthly average is this, but, in 1 month it's lower than the number, like all these different things. And you can see how now we're getting into all these trust issues. And again, I started thinking about this. And the other key piece of it is, do you really want to kind of compromise your approach, change your process, change your methods, change your strategies, change your contracts, change your, exact, operation just to get one client in the door? Right. And that was where I really stopped and thought, no. Right. So having that abundance mindset of going, you know what, I have plenty of very happy clients that don't ask for these guarantees, that are doing incredibly well, right? That are getting incredible results. And if you go to nemomediagroup.com and look at testimonials, there's tons and tons of people on there, small business owners, consultants, business coaches, CPAs, accountants, franchise consultants, every type of niche, 6 figures in sales, right? 3 new clients, blah, 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 blah. Like there's all these stories and videos and case studies. I'm good at what I do, right? I don't have to compromise just to get clients in the door. And that's what you have to remember too, is if you're really good at what you do and you can get people good results, and most importantly, remembering that we win or lose based on client selection, that the quality of clients you bring on dictates the quality of your life. I know this firsthand as an agency owner, right? One bad client can cause so much chaos and so much consternation with you and with your team and keep you up at night. And you get into all kinds of, disputes and chargebacks and demands and contract, fighting. And you don't want that, right? Life is too short. And I think for me, I struggle with, I'm so competitive. I always want to win. And I know I can help people. And I always say this on sales calls. If I really feel it, I say, I just want to get you in the door because I know we can deliver what we're promising. And what I found over the years is you've really got to be careful because you don't know how good your client is, or you've got to vet your client, especially my situation where I'm only generating the leads. I'm not doing the selling for you. So what I'll often say to a prospect is like, you've got to be able to close these leads. Like it's going to be lose-lose. I can get you 1 million calls a month, but if you can't close, or you don't have a good back end, or you don't know how to move a person through your process and get them to sign on the dotted line, you're going to be unhappy and I'm going to be unhappy, and we're not going to keep going because it's not working. And then also really understanding, I want to find clients that have a mindset of, I see the value in what you're doing. I want to play the long game. I know there's no guarantees in marketing. I mean, for instance, I've had a guy for, a couple of years now that I pay every month to run Amazon ads to help sell my books, because my number one, way that I can generate really good leads is if they read my book, LinkedIn Riches, or any of the other books I've written on LinkedIn. So I run ads on Amazon to get that book into people's hands. I don't get to go to him if 1 month I sell 221 books and the next month I sell 142 books and say, well, what happened? And this, I want guaranteed sales. He'll be the first to say, I can't guarantee anything. Like Amazon's algorithm changes all the time. The bidding amount changes. You gave me a set budget of what to spend. You don't want to pay $10,000 a click. Like I can't guarantee you sales. I can say we have a track record in a ballpark, but that's, I'm also looking at like, yeah, it's marketing. Like you're always rolling the dice. And I tell this story too on sales calls where I literally early in my business, when I was really trying to sell a lot of online courses, the whole holy grail at the time was, hey, create an on-demand webinar and then use Facebook ads to just drive a bunch of people to an on-demand webinar that sells your online course with automation tools and just print money and have a Lamborghini, right? So I, at the time, this was just a couple years into my business when I really didn't have any significant cash flow or savings. I hired 3 different Facebook ad agencies. I spent $45,000 that I didn't have. I put it all on different credit cards, and I made approximately 0 online course sales. So it was a complete bust, a complete failure. I tried everything. I even wrote my own creative for the Facebook ads. I did self-serve options. I did my own targeting. And then I also hired 3 done-for-you agencies, and none of it worked. And at the end of the day, I didn't go back to those 3 agencies and say, this failed. It's your fault. I want a full refund. You promise, blah, blah, blah. You promised I'd get sales, whatever. Because I knew it's marketing. It's no different than putting up a billboard. And I approved everything. I approved the copy. I approved the design. I approved the target audiences. It just didn't work. And sometimes it just doesn't work. Right. And that's what else can you do? Right. And that's what I want in a client to say, listen, I know there's risk in everything. Right. I mean, there's risk in living. You get hit by a bus tomorrow, right? You get a car accident. You can't have 100% safety and guarantees in any situation. What you can do is you can hedge your bets, and you can look at who you partner with and say, check these boxes. Have they worked with people like me? Do they understand my industry? Do they have a track record? Do they have these social markers of, who testimonials, places they've appeared, people have endorsed them, and then more importantly, looking at their content, and does it make sense, and does it resonate, and does it make sense that this would work for someone like me? And I think at the end of the day, it really just comes down to, you can't really guarantee anything, right? You just can't. I mean, you can guarantee your effort, you can guarantee your output, you can guarantee the deliverables in terms of content. And I'm talking about my industry, lead generation, marketing, agency services. But at the end of the day, you can't guarantee sales. I guarantee my clients approximately $0 in revenue, right? Because I don't know. I'm not talking to your leads. I'm not closing them for you. I'm not doing your pricing. You've got to do that. Now, I can help you with it and try to coach you up, but I can't guarantee it. So it's something where it's just a fascinating topic. Thank you for letting me riff about it. I hope you found it helpful. I hope it gives you things to think about, both as a prospect when you're looking at a vendor, and kind of being a little bit more wary of someone promising you all these guarantees. Dig into the fine print with them. Okay, you're promising me 10 appointments a month or whatever it is. What's the quality of those leads? Who are these people? How ready are they to buy? How do you source them? Can I talk to people that have worked with you? I would have all those questions, right? And then I think too, just as a service provider, if you're offering guarantees, are you putting yourself at risk? Are you putting too much? Is it too much of a one-sided guarantee where you're saying, I'm going to do my end, but if the client doesn't do their end, you're left holding the bag? I think there's just so much to consider. And the key thing that solves it all is one simple word, which is trust, right? That's why I work so hard to try to build trust with prospects before I ever speak to them live on Zoom or on the phone. Meaning all the free content I put out, all the free books I give away, all the free webinars, all the free videos, all the free podcast episodes, all the free tips, all the free emails, all the free status updates. I'm constantly putting out content that not only shares tips and insights and ideas that demonstrate my expertise, but it's also, I try to put my personality in so people can get to know, like, and trust me, see I'm a real person, I'm a dad, I'm authentic, I'm funny, I'm a goofball. They would like me, they can trust me. If we were hanging out together, they wouldn't feel freaked out or think I'm creepy or shady. All of that comes into play. So with all that said, thank you so much for listening. Hope you found this helpful. Curious what your thoughts are on guarantees. So if you want, email me, john@nemomediagroup.com. I'd love to hear your 2 cents. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you soon on another episode.